Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. We're live on Radio Row from the Georgia World Congress Center. It's all things Super Bowl 53. It's all brought to you by LifeBridge Health Sports Medicine Institute and our friends at Foundry Row. The docs will be back next week. Meanwhile, we're here on Radio Row talking all things football and professional gambling. It's a theme this week, isn't it, Luke, right?
I just want to find a poker table at this point.
Tony Dunster's here. It says here, professional gambler. I bet your family's so proud. And Fox Sports host. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
That's what my high school yearbook, 85. What are you going to be when you grow up? Professional gambler.
Really?
No, I don't know.
It's not gambling if you know what you're doing, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're just in a different place. Obviously, all week long we've talked about the NFL getting their VIG and where the rules are going and the laws are going and the states are going.
Fees
of course. We put the games on. We need to have the integrity fee.
Right.
And then the federal government comes in and says, what integrity do you speak of? Let's call the New Orleans Saints to see about the integrity rules of last week. And, certainly it didn't affect the outcome from your but, in your space, something has gone from when I was young that was a dirty little thing in the back of sports magazines, and when I started sports radio 27 years ago, touts and whatnot, that this is very much out in the open, and guys like you can afford really nice suits here. This is Corinthian leather here.
Yes.
Doing this is an industry.
You're absolutely right. It's an exciting time for gamblers, in particular relation to football and major sports in the United States. As many people know, the Supreme Court essentially allowed states to legalize sports betting now, and we've seen 10 states pass bills that will either have them offering sports betting already or in the very, very near future, and many others are making progress in that direction. So forever, gambling was the one subject you did not discuss when you were on an NFL broadcast. It used to be Jimmy the Greek had to sort of vaguely allude to what the line was in the game.
He liked
to yeah, exactly. And they put an end to that, and then it was just
now Musburger's cashing in his eye. Musburger's working on the intangibles.
He's there in Vegas at South Point. I see him all the time.
Yeah, and to my point, the side of where what was not working blue and working blue has now there's a major linkage in all of this with fantasy sports and fan kings and fantasy duels and reality draft kings and all that.
We've gone fully legitimate.
We're going to take a piece of the action. But that's where it's at, and I think guys like you coming in on the side of this to not just to legitimize it, but to get people into a better spot to amplify their short-term investments.
Absolutely. We would like to educate people on how you gamble better or make better decisions, whether it's during a poker game, how you choose your sports bets, how you construct your daily fantasy sports teams. I'm really passionate about teaching people gambling because I don't want to see them lose. I don't want to see them get cleaned out. And I do think that most people should approach gambling as recreation. Have fun. Don't go in expecting to win a bunch of money. But if you want to take it seriously, we can take a deep dive into how the best are making their money and how you can potentially, but I don't want to promise anything, have an edge.
This guy dropped out of the University of Wisconsin as a theater major.
Yeah.
Partied on State Street.
Great times.
Good times.
I got
there.
tear gas there once.
Good times there. Yeah. Madison was. I woke up in Milwaukee last Thursday. It was cold as hell.
You sound like you didn't expect it. You were like, I don't know. I was out. I was partying, and then I woke up in Milwaukee.
Crossed the state line. I saw Kenosha, and I called my wife. I said, "You want me to bring you back any cheese, honey?" She said, "No." So how does it? What's a nice boy like you doing in a line of work like this? How does one get mixed up in this seedy behavior?
I got started in high school. Poker was exploding at the time. ESPN had just put on the World Series. Rounders had come out. The World Poker Tour was on the Travel Channel. And
my boy Phil Gordon's getting.
Phil Gordon used to be a commentator. I used to run into Phil Gordon at the World Series all the time. There was just this explosion in interest around poker and gambling to a lesser extent in that era. Then daily fantasy sports came along like 2012, 2013 and provided this legal-ish way to bet on sports that wasn't officially betting on sports. And then finally, just last year, we're going to be able to do real, legitimate sports betting, and it's going to be everywhere in the United States in the not-too-distant future.
The fantasy money gambling thing, we haven't scratched the surface of that, right? Like, on a week-by-week basis, some betting on players and taking players. I mean, this week right here, this is the most all these propositions. Dude, you can bet on how long the national anthem's going to last. I mean, you're degenerate people that that you're a part of here. But I would think that you're very soon going to be able to bet on, is it a pass or is it a run? Is it
in game?
Is it in-game? Are they going to get a first down on this play or the next play? I mean, and as Fred Flintstone once said, bet. And there's going to be no end to the action, which is, quite frankly, one of the things when I would go to Vegas and I play blackjack, crap, whatever. I mean, like an idiot gambler. I've won a little here, I lost a little there, lost a little more. I don't gamble as much because I'm 50 now, and it just doesn't get me. Doesn't get me oiled up.
Sure.
It doesn't get me excited.
Doesn't have the same novelty.
But I'll tell you one thing, it would not get me oiled up is the one time I've ever bet on a sports event. I mean, I'm being honest. I went to Vegas on a bye weekend 15 years ago. My wife's there. It was October. We wound up leaving and going to a baseball game in Oakland. But on a Sunday, I bet $50 on, I don't know, Team Red or Team Blue. Or I don't even remember what the hell I bet. But then you sit there all 3 hours and you got a beer and you spend $55 drinking beer and food, and whether you win or lose the bet, you're sitting there and you're like, well, what did I just do? I much prefer, give me some cards. Let's go. Let's get a lot of action.
Sure.
You
like the continual stimulus.
Let's play $5 or $10 hands or $20 hand, whatever it is, that you sit at the table and you kill 2 hours meeting people and being social, and you get a little chips and you feel nice about yourself or whatever. Sports gambling's not that way, right?
It's very passive.
Yeah, I mean, you bet, and then you sit there for 3 hours and you wait to see whether the blue team beats the white team or whatever it is.
But, the brilliance of sports betting is it can make an irrelevant blowout game interesting to the very end if you've got a side or some exposure to it, and that's really beneficial to the leagues because, let's face it, not every game is a marquee matchup. Not every game is even going to be close, but now you add a 14-point spread, and it's very close for the huge percentage of your audience that is betting on it.
How many betting propositions in 2029? Let's go 10 years out. The Ravens are playing the Steelers on a Sunday night game. How many ways will there will be an unlimited
dozens.
Every play there will be a wagering, let alone fantasy side of things and whether you can amass enough yards to win your whatever your thing will be. And that's going to be right on your phone in the upper deck.
Absolutely it is. And you already see things like that in international markets such as the UK and Australia.
Well, you walk behind the match and bet on the match, right?
Bingo. In the Australia, I lived there for 5 years. If you wanted to bet on a sport, you just walked around the corner.
This is a sharp guy.
As soon as you brought up Australia, I knew it was going in that direction.
This guy's one step ahead of all of us. I wouldn't bet against you. I wouldn't sit at a table with you. I mean, you're sharp. You're reading cards or something. All right, well, so you tried again, they wouldn't let you in, but you're okay here.
And I spent 5 years there, and I can still go back. It's all good. I just don't get to be
an
Australian
a
one
little
day.
Canadian. I was a little. I saw Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's,
I know he's not from Atlanta. He didn't have grits for breakfast, is what I'm thinking.
No, I didn't have breakfast. It was,
Tell me about your career, because this is a career that didn't exist 20 years ago. I can promise you that.
And it certainly did not exist in a mainstream way. Like when I started gambling and playing poker and playing online, my parents thought I had a gambling problem. They were terrified.
You'd have a better tan.
You would
had a
live in back rooms, have a blingy watch and stuff, and now
call his 1-900 number. He's got the lock of the week here.
Exactly. And there's still a remnant of that, but that's not the world that we're in anymore. Professional poker players are mostly kind of like introverted, subdued guys who spend a lot of time studying and
sunglasses
researching.
on.
No, that's even gone away to a degree. These guys are just natural statues. They're just very good at keeping it together. So 10, 15 years ago, I liked to hide a little bit, to have the sunglasses,
whatever it was. You're a theater major, though.
Yeah, and then I was just like, I don't need this. So.
All right, man. Well, good to meet you.
My pleasure.
Hanging out. Luke, you got anything gambling related? You want to get a tip?
I wanted to ask him because I'm 35, so I grew up at the same time as you as far as getting into poker, seeing rounders. I remember college buddies of mine, we'd get together lucrative, but we just
every
playing.
One of your buddies played.
And for you now to be the voice of the World Poker Tour when, back 15 years ago, ESPN every other day, World Series of Poker, some event was on, WPT was on. How much of a thrill is that for you, thinking back 15 years ago, watching poker on TV, now that you're part of that?
It was surreal. Those were my favorite shows at 17, 18 years old, and then to one day become a part of them and then the host of them was a very surreal experience. So I feel lucky every day
I want to hang out with Dunst. That's what I want to do. Tony Dunst from Fox, and as well as professional gambler. You're out on Twitter. You're in Instagram.
Yep.
You're everywhere.
Yep. Tony Dunst TV on both Twitter and Instagram, and I got a YouTube channel called Panoramic Sports where I have a gambling vlog that will include my time at the Super Bowl.
All right, who's going to win?
Vegas says the Patriots.
Can you imagine getting points with Brady in a Super Bowl and turning that down?
I can't. It lasted for like 2 hours. You know, it was +1, and then people jumped on it, and now it's Rams +2.5 to 3. So I kind of want to get the Rams at +3, but I think that might be more of a sentimental bet, which is not great. But I just want to see the Patriots lose.
Do you make sentimental bets, guy like you?
Extremely rarely,
You're too
and if
smart
I do,
for
it's
that.
for a tiny amount of money. It's like I have my amount that I would bet on something that I feel is sharp.
It's
and
a
then,
pride bet.
And
It's
then
not
the
a money
pride
bet.
bet, which
Right.
is down there. Yeah.
Understood. All right, I've made a
Yeah.
few of those. Tony Dunst from Fox Sports and Professional Gambling. Served anywhere. Short-term investments apply.
Thanks again, guys.
You got it,
I
man.
had fun.
Thanks, Tony.
We're on Radio Row. We're here at the Georgia World Congress. It's all brought to you by our friends at LifeBridge Sports Health Medicine Institute, as well as our friends at Strategic Factory, where you're creating your masterpiece. We got a masterpiece full of radio here all week. We're out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day. From anywhere in the world on your mobile device, you can find anything you missed this week, including whatever noise is going on over there. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Taos in Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.